Disney California Adventure Park, commonly referred to as California Adventure or by its acronym DCA, is a theme park located at the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. It is owned and operated by the Walt Disney Company through its Parks, Experiences and Products division. The 72-acre park is themed after Disney's interpretation of California, which is manifested through the use of various Disney, Pixar and Marvel Studios properties. The park opened on February 8, 2001, as Disney's California Adventure Park and is the second of two theme parks built at the Disneyland Resort complex, after Disneyland Park. The concept of a theme park dedicated to California arose from a meeting of Disney executives in 1995, following the cancellation of Westcott, a planned West Coast version of Walt Disney World's utopian Epcot Center. Construction of the park began in June 1998 and was completed by early 2001. Disney initially projected high attendance rates at the new park. A series of preview openings held in January 2001 led to negative reviews, however, and after the park officially opened to the public on February 8, 2001. The company's attendance projections were never met. Disney spent the next several years incrementally adding new rides, shows, and attractions, and implementing other promotions aimed at boosting attendance. In 2007, Disney announced a major overhaul of the park consisting of new expansion as well as reconstruction of existing areas of the park. Construction lasted for 5 years and was completed in stages, culminating with the opening of Buena Vista Street and Cars Land along with the rededication of the park in June 2012. The most recent addition to the park was the completion of Avengers Campus when the Disneyland Resort reopened in mid-2021, after being closed for over a year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Themed Entertainment Association, the park hosted approximately 9.9 million guests in 2018, making it the 12th most visited theme park in the world that year. The present-day site of Disney California Adventure was acquired by Walt Disney in the 1950s and functioned as the parking lot of Disneyland for over 40 years. After succeeding with the multi-park business model at Walt Disney World in Florida, the Disney Company decided to turn Walt Disney's original theme park into a multi-park resort complex as well. Disneyland was boxed in, however, because of the growth of Anaheim around the park. While the Walt Disney World property was 30,000 acres at the time, the Disneyland site was about 400. This consisted of the park itself, the 100-acre parking lot, and the newly acquired Disneyland Hotel and Vacation property from the Rather Corporation. In 1991, Disney announced plans to build Westcott, a West Coast version of what was then known as Epcot Center, on the site of Disneyland's parking lot. The price tag of the proposed park was high, and the company was facing financial and public relation problems with the newly opened Euro Disneyland. Plus, Disney president Frank Wells died in a helicopter crash in 1994. These issues led Disney to cancel Westcott in 1995. In the summer of 1995, Michael Eisner, Disney's CEO at the time, gathered company executives in Aspen, Colorado, to think of another idea for a second theme park in California. The majority of the people visiting Disneyland consisted primarily of California residents, locals, or those traveling from nearby states. Those who were visiting from another state or another country probably had Disneyland as one of the several attractions to do in California. Based on this, Disney decided it would instead build a park themed to California's history and culture. Disney's executives aimed to make California a theme park, to keep guests at the resort instead of going off-site. This would require less expensive hotels, a single parking garage, and very little additional property acquisition, with most of the park residing on the Disneyland parking lot. Then Disneyland President Paul Pressler relied on merchandising and retail staff instead of Imagineers to design the park. As an adult-oriented park like Epcot, dining and shopping were the design focus. Construction of the park began on January 22, 1998. On Main Street, USA, a Disney's California Adventure Preview Center opened in October 1998. The park's construction was accompanied by Downtown Disney and Disney's Grand Californian Hotel, in addition to renovations of the Disneyland Hotel and Disneyland Pacific Hotel. The park was expected to draw large crowds when it opened on February 8, 2001. There were 4 districts with 22 shows and attractions and 15 restaurants. On January 14, a Los Angeles Times article stated, "Senior Disney officials acknowledge that there will be days when California Adventure will have to turn patrons away, particularly in the first weeks after the park opens, during spring break and again in the summer." The attendance that year was substantially less than expected, however. This is suggested to have happened as a result of negative reviews from early visitors. For example, Disney had originally planned the park to be aimed at adults, rather than children and families, which became the basis of significant criticism. The park opened to 5 million visitors in 2001, while its sister park Disneyland saw 12.3 million visitors during the same time frame. Low attendance caused Disney to lower ticket prices for California Adventure, slashing as much as $10 off the park's ticket prices. In its first year, the park averaged 5,000 to 9,000 visitors on weekdays and 10,000 to 15,000 on the weekends, despite having a capacity of 33,000. Visitor surveys reported that 20% of visitors to the park in its first year were satisfied with their experience. By October 2001, both Wolfgang Puck and Robert Mondavi had closed their high-profile restaurants in the park, citing low crowds, though Mondavi remained as a sponsor. Grizzly Peak is themed around California's wilderness and national parks, with particular references to Yosemite and Redwood National Parks. Its main attraction is Grizzly River Run, a Gold Rush-esque river rapids ride around the area's summit. Nearby is the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, a playground area with elements from Disney's Brother Bear and Disney Pixar's Up. It has an entrance exclusively accessible to guests of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. Avengers Campus is inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe, featuring attractions based on characters originating from Marvel Comics and appearing in MCU media. The area is anchored around an Avengers Campus located on the former restricted grounds of a Stark Industries and Strategic Scientific Reserve complex.